Good evening, distinguished Wizards fans. I'm Sully,
I'm Raj.
and we have a very, very special guest today. Introduce yourself, Alfonso.
Yeah, my name is Alfonso Rose. I have a YouTube channel, The Dirty Bucket. And I almost just introduced myself when you were like, Raj, I'm Alfonso.
Yeah,
But
but we're winging it. We're super excited to have
mhm,
Alfonso today as a guest on the podcast. Yeah, and today we're going to talk about just our thoughts on the Wizards' early free agent moves, the surprising Jonas Valanciunas signing, Tristan Vucevic being converted to a two-way contract, which is also kind of surprising as well. And
mhm.
then we'll just also interview Alfonso a little bit about his journey in his early stage of his content creation career. And then we'll play a little bit of a fun little trivia game you guys will see at the end. But before we do all that, let's hit the intro music.
So I just want to start off with like the basic question, get to know you a little more. What's your journey been like as a content creator so far?
Um, it's been I mean, like, I started the Dirty Bucket channel like I think mid-March of this year. And what are we in July? And yeah, I just been like, for every YouTube channel, it's like there's like growing pains. You go up, you go down, you go up, and then you go way down. But yeah, just all I'd like to do is like to learn something in every single video. Keep make sure my hunger's still there. Just keep on improving. Just simple as that.
Did you have any prior like editing or content creation experience before the Dirty Bucket, or is this all like new to you?
So I actually chose the NFL last year. So I had an NFL channel like when the NFL season was starting, and because I'm a big Commanders fan, DMV.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But I noticed that like the channel started growing slowly. It was kind of like the same style, but I was like a noob. I didn't really know how like script that much or like edit that much. But I don't know. I just noticed that like the playoffs was around the corner, and some of my favorite YouTubers are NBA content creators. And I was like, damn, this could be a huge moment to me. Like, playoffs is the biggest stage for the NBA. Like, everybody's watching the playoffs. So I just switched over from the NFL to the NBA, and the channel did not grow during the playoffs. It actually grew a little bit after the playoffs. So, but yeah.
What I'll note from what we've noticed too is that, like, yeah, for honestly the playoffs, like our show got like no extra traction as well. Well, obviously we're Wizards podcast, we have like
Hmm.
nothing to talk about in the
Yeah, I
playoffs
know,
either.
right?
But like we noticed the two biggest times we experienced growth was the trade deadline. We got a lot of views from during the
Hmm.
trade deadline, especially on Spotify and all that. And then we also noticed, obviously off season. I think NBA sickos just off season is so much fun. Just all the crazy
Hmm.
just transactions going and just fiending over rumors. Yeah, like even like I'm sure to the average person, like Tristan Vucevic getting a different contract isn't that interesting, but to like the people that are really in the community, like
That's like
uh,
life changing news over
it's
here.
like it's live shading. It's like
Yeah,
it's like
no,
it's
I'm
like
not
only
gonna lie.
it's like only have so many roster spots open, and it's like okay, now we
Yeah.
got some roster flexibility moving into the two way. But yeah, and also it's interesting you mentioned like deciding to switch from football to basketball. Like there is so much to talk about football. Obviously, the rosters are huge, and every week is such a big deal. But I've noticed the football community on YouTube is great, but I feel like the basketball community is a little bit more poppin' in a way. I don't know how to
Hmm.
describe it, but just there's just more characters in the basketball community pumping out regular stuff than what I see in the NFL community.
So I don't know, like if you guys know this guy named one of my favorite YouTubers, Commissioner Dynamo.
I've seen a few videos, yeah.
Sounds
So
familiar.
he like I have other ones like AM Hoops, this channel Goat, some of my influence. That's Good Sports. I don't know why I'm shouting them out, but they I noticed that, like in their channel, like especially when you upload a video, you do like hashtags, right? Or I don't know if you guys do that, but I do that, and you see like the number of videos per hashtag, and I
Yeah.
noticed like for the NFL it's like 2.5, but for the NBA it's 3.9 usually 3.9 million. So I was like, wait a second. Well, it's because the NBA is global. Like the NFL
Yeah.
is obviously king in the United States, but the NBA is just way more global than the NFL is. And like I see like Commissioner Dynamo's channel or like AM Hoops channel, like, oh, greetings from Italy or Serbia. Whereas that wouldn't happen like within the NFL community because it's just, within the states. So
100%. Yeah, like it's like NFL definitely does like way more ratings on a like weekly basis, but yeah,
mhm.
just the global reach is it. Like we've noticed too, it's like honestly a surprising amount. Like I think last time I checked, or streaming demographics is like 80% US, but it's like 20% overseas, which is like a
Mhm.
decent enough chunk to and all that. And yeah, it's just cool to see like the NBA is like the I would say the most global of like all like the true American sports. Baseball is a decent reach in a lot of like the Asian and countries, and of course like Latin America and all that too. But I think basketball truly is reaching like every inch of the globe, and yeah, I think that's definitely really cool. I mean, you see in the draft too. I mean,
Yeah.
the draft is now a French invasion. There's also a bunch of other all the European countries have a bunch of players and all that, and even like players like straight out of Africa also and all that. And so yeah, it's really cool to see the global growth, and yeah, it's applying to the content creation game as well, which is fun.
Mhm.
Um, I guess talk about since we're a Wizards podcast, just talk about um what made you kind of start following the Wizards. I assume you do live in the DMV, correct?
Yeah. Maryland kid, red line. Um, but yeah, I mean, like my dad was a sports fan growing up, and he just followed the Commanders and Wizards, and I just kind of like followed him. Been tormented DMV fan since like 12, and like it's like 20 years now since I'm just we haven't done anything since I started following the
I
teams.
know.
Honestly,
I know. It's like I guess we you started like 20. We're like right at the tail end when all like you already passed like the skins their Super Bowl era was already past a few years by then. So you had to start like the beginnings of a lot of the rebuilds. So I'm sure that must be
oh
painful
yeah.
to watch both the Commanders, Wizards, every team just rebuild over and over and over.
But I
Um,
have like a theory though. It's like I feel like well, for like seasoned veterans of the tormented DMV community, if you're still following the team after all these years of misery, that shows like you're a loyal person. You know what I mean? Like that
I
shows like that shows loyalty to me. Like you know,
I agree. Like I've been tempted to put on like just like Tinder, just like, hey, I'm like a true DC sports
yeah,
fan.
I know
Like
that's all you gotta say.
I'm loyal.
Yeah.
But any differences you notice? Obviously, you were younger back in the day, but like just kind of like early, like just like later 2000s versus like now in the 2020s, just differences in like Wizards culture, just overall DC sports fandom.
They've well, the Wizards have definitely gotten like over the years like more international. Uh like from 2010s, like I don't think we had did we have like Marcin Gortat,
There was
Poland?
like randomly, like obviously we drafted like Jan Vesley was a
Oh yeah,
bust, and
yeah, obviously, yeah, this
like
guy.
randomly there'd be random people that come in, but yeah, the team
Yeah.
was a lot more. There wasn't much international players definitely until like once we hit the wall era. Then yeah, more international people started coming. Then we had like Nene and all those.
And then well, I'm thinking about like more like when Rui hit, and then
Rui that
Denny, and
and
then
Rui brought a huge amount of Japanese fans.
mhm.
Deni brought a huge amount of like Israeli and Jewish fans. I remember when we went to the Wizards draft party like a week ago or whatever. There was like a lot of like Deni jerseys and yarmulkes, which was it was
Yeah.
kind of cool to see. And I know like the Wizards comments were often spammed if Deni didn't get enough minutes. Like the Deni stands would definitely be fiending on the team for how they were treating him and all that. But yeah, definitely. I think the Wizards are a really good example of just the changes in just NBA culture over the years. As we mentioned, I don't know. I didn't mean for this to become like an essay format, but I guess we have our essay theme is just internationalism.
Yeah, well now we're like, just French all day, right?
I,
Baguettes on deck. But like,
I
I
know.
feel like, well, like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to like jump forward to the NBA draft, but like when we drafted Sar, I mean that was pretty much a given, right? But
Yeah,
in my head, I had a feeling that we were gonna draft another French player, and I was targeting Saloon, Tita Jane Saloon. He
yeah.
ended up going really high, like number 6 overall. But another French player, I think, went to the Knicks at 17.
That and also who was Pacome Dadet? I remember was like a
Yeah, yeah,
that was popping on Twitter for like the 26th pick. That
yeah, yeah.
I'm happy with Keyshawn Jordan. I think Keyshawn Jordan is a higher floor than I have no idea what I about the debt at all. Like I'm an NBA sicko, but I don't. There's only so many prospects I can keep up with, and Pacome the
Yeah.
debt was not on my radar.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, but like I'm really liking this whole new French wave. Like we got Sar and Koulibaly. I mean, without the league, it's like Wembayama. Um, is there another
Gobert.
French Gobert? Yeah, but he's
Yeah,
older though. But like, there's this
Yeah.
new French wave, and I think Koulibaly keeps saying like there's a new French, like another wave coming in next year, right? Or if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, like I think the draft, like the really early mock drafts, definitely have like at least like 4, 5, 6 first round French guys again. So,
Yeah.
and I remember they've been talking like when we're doing the draft coverage, they're like, oh, like French kids like are inspired. Now they're like, oh wait, like we
It's possible for me too. Stuff like that.
like there's like I guess there's like I don't want to say I think they've always been interested, but there's like a confident and I guess more just scouts and connections paying attention to France. I think especially because France has also done and like in the FIBA World Cup and all that, like they've been doing better in recent years too. So I think definitely like NBA like scouts and all that have been paying more attention. But if we take advantage of the French Revolution, I'm not that upset with it. I saw there's a rumor that we might pick up an assistant coach that coached in France last year. That's he's
Oh
from like
yeah.
I forgot his name, but he's from Bilal's hometown, so how do you feel about this conspiracy theory that the Wizards being extra French is gonna get land us Wemby in 7 years?
Is that really a conspiracy theory?
It's a deep cut conspiracy theory, but I've seen it float around on like Reddit, the deep ends of Wizards Reddit.
Well, I'm just waiting until they create downtown France in the DC.
Try to
Honestly,
just convert
So I'd be
Chinatown.
fine with that.
yeah,
So
I mean,
because
I,
I
I
mean,
like Chinatown, but that would be cool, have like a French inspired area. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and well, this is just like my homerism speaking, but like I'm really high on Bilal, and then obviously like Sar. I think maybe Bilal might even have a little bit. Well, I don't know. They might have like the same ceiling as a player. But like if they both become like respective stars here, I mean, like they can always allure, you know what I mean, other French stars. Like they just seem like I think Bilal was telling the coaches like you got to draft star. Like he was giving them the input, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows? I mean, Wembanyama. I feel like the Spurs would not like they would not like let him go.
It would never be a trade, but I don't know, like some weird stars always like end up getting randomly unhappy after like 4 or 5
True.
years. So you never know down the line in the year like 2030 when B's like in his prime and he's like, I want to go to DC for some reason and hang out with Bilal or something. But
Yeah, yeah. That'd be awesome.
And
yeah,
while we're still on the topic of just France, they versed Turkey today, and I just found out they won. But like Bilal, he
Mhm.
played 15 minutes. He got 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist.
That's
that,
I
dope.
mean,
it's cool to
yeah,
see Bilal getting
yeah.
minutes like all the
He's a starter as
qualifiers.
well. It's just cool to see. Man, he's on my team as well.
He's on the Wiz. He's good enough to get international play starting minutes, which is cool.
Yeah.
I was looking at like a bunch of the rosters for all the qualifying teams, and it's just funny to see all the former Wizards like in random like Isak Bonga, I think is getting minutes for the German team right now, and
Yeah.
he still has like I think he still has like the pink hair right now, so that's like okay.
God.
And then I think like Latvia, I know Porzingis is hurt for Latvia, so it's like I guess
Yeah.
I don't know is Bertans their leader? I don't that's not good for them, but it's just interesting to see like yeah, it's like like even like the like base level NBA talent is like so significant on like these international teams and all that.
Yeah.
And have you been? Does international ball interest you in any bit, or just kind of stick more to NBA?
Yeah, I mean, only time I like watch international balls like when I'm scouting, I'm like doing my YouTube scouting, whatever, for like a player. But I don't really like NBA is like too much. There's too much drama going
Yeah,
on. You know, too much podcast drama going on. You got to keep up with. You know, apparently everybody likes watching that stuff. So, but no, just NBA for me.
yeah. Like the NBA, there's so much to digest, just rumors every second and all that.
Hmm.
So yeah, definitely NBA takes up a lot of time. I think it's just times like the off season where it's like kind of miss basketball. I guess I'll tune into like a random like World Cup qualifier game or just
Yeah.
see what's going on in France or like the German basketball Bundesliga or just whatever, just for the heck of it. But it's definitely more tolerable to watch now than like 5 years ago. If I turned on an international game, it was like,
Hmm.
and it
Yeah.
definitely it's a different style in Europe too, like 100% slower pace, lower scoring. But yeah, I think it's really cool to just get a taste of like the international ball, and then also like at the occasional point, it's like, oh yeah, I remember like briefly watching this game at 2 a.m. randomly one night, and now this guy's in the NBA. That's
Hmm.
cool. That's cool sometimes as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
See,
Definitely.
excited for summer league.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like
I mean, who isn't,
the
man?
15th.
Summer League is
The
just
15th is the
In
first
a
yeah,
game.
the
few days.
15.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the idea of seeing Sar wearing wizards on his chest.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds exciting.
Yeah. We might win it all in the summer league. We got a lot of players. I mean, like I'm assuming it's like is Vukovic playing? I'm assuming he
Will he
better
play
play.
in
I
the
would
summer league?
I would think he should be playing. I don't know. Yeah, 'cause last year he didn't because he was still in like Sweden or wherever the heck
No, he played last year.
he was. You think? Oh, he did. Yeah, he did play.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it was just he took him
Oh,
all to actually NBA get NBA minutes, but he should be playing this year. Like he's
yeah,
still raw enough. He only played 20 NBA games last year, so
yeah.
he definitely should be getting summer league minutes. But are there any like narratives or storylines you're looking for in summer league with the young guys?
Um, uh, I I just want Sar to look good because like I feel like if he comes out flat, like a lot of the DMV fans can be a little bit like upset. Because I don't know if y'all remember when Otto Porter first started playing in the summer league, and we all just like our blood pressure started rising. Oh shoot, like this guy might be a bust, something like that. I know like Sar, like obviously his defense is like it's going to be his bread and butter, but his offense is still a work in progress. But I'm just just want him to look a little bit just polished so that we don't freak out for him.
Yeah, and it's like I think everyone's also just traumatized like from Johnny Davis and all
Oh
that.
God, yeah,
Yeah,
don't.
and like Johnny, I try to believe like there are cases in the past where like some players they don't ball out in summer league, but they have fine NBA careers. So I don't try not to overact too much with summer league, but
Mhm,
I remember Johnny being atrocious in summer league, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna hold out hope. And then the
mhm,
NBA, nothing changed. So yeah, and
mhm,
like you mentioned, DC fans are weird in a sense that I think we do jump the gun a bit on like just making our opinions up very quickly about young players. So yeah, I think the last thing, just from a confidence standpoint, like for
yeah,
lack of a better term, Sar does have the aura working for him right now,
mhm,
and I think if he said he comes out flat in summer, like a lot of that aura is going to be gone, and then I think confidence is a key part of his game for him to actually I think his baseline. I think at the very worst, he will be at least a serviceable starter, like in the NBA, like at the very worst. But to reach that ceiling of like All Star level, I think having confidence in his game is key. And a lot of rookies just haven't had like that level of like confidence coming into their careers. Like even like the ones we've been most hopeful for, like even like the Denny's and Ruiz, their first games weren't necessarily like, okay, this is a future star incoming. It's just like this is a guy we're hopeful for. So
yeah, yeah, definitely. I remember them all. They're like my kids. You know what I mean? Like Danny. Like I don't know. Like how do you guys feel about that trade?
it
okay.
was.
I
You
first
go
heard the
first.
news. Oh man, I wanted because we were at the draft party at the time.
Yeah.
You know, I was excited. I'm like, oh man, we're gonna draft Sar. I look at my watch. I see Malcolm Brogdon to the Wizards. I'm like, oh, for what? And I see Denny Avdia to Portland. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? And I was beat down. But then I look at what we got. I look at okay, we got Keyshawn George, we got Bud Carrington, all of these guys. I look at them now. They're oozing with confidence, oozing with like just potential. And I'm like, okay, Denny, go, it's fine. But just when I first heard the news, I was like, oh,
I,
that's so
I agree.
tragic.
Like the gut reaction definitely was hurt, just because I don't know, you get attached to, especially players that play starting minutes. You get attached, even if you really shouldn't be attached to them. You get attached. But then after like an hour or two, I talked myself into well, two first round picks. We're struggling to get two first round picks for Kuz. So getting two first round picks for Denny, I thought was solid once I thought about it. And Brogdon's trade value is low, but you never know. He could resurrect his career a little bit in DC. He's gonna get minutes if they don't like buy him out. So I definitely like instantly. I think where everyone was feeling a bit hurt, but and there's still some people who don't like the trade, but I've warmed up to it at least in recent days.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like I was going through it. Like I was on vacation when I heard the news, and I don't know. Like I had such high hopes for him, and like there was rumors too. I don't know if y'all remember seeing those rumors, like oh the Wizards might actually trade Denny coming up to the draft, and I was like,
I was like, no, it's not real,
it's
right?
fake
Come
news. I was
on.
like,
I
it's
thought
fake news,
because I thought the front office really liked him. That's what the impression that like Winger
I
and
mean,
Dawkins
everyone
gave.
liked him though. I mean, there's like a
yeah,
Yeah.
small group of people that were like, "Man, we don't like Denny," but then after seeing the leap he took, everyone started liking Denny. I mean, especially me. I wasn't a big Denny guy before he took his leap.
yeah,
I was hating on him a bit,
yeah.
but after last season, just seeing him go after he's just like, I don't know. I still think about it from time to time, but it's not that sad anymore.
Dude, I think about it all the time now. I still, I've come to terms that like, yeah, we did get a really solid haul, especially when we flipped Brogdon. so like at least Dawkins did like receive a solid haul in return for him. Um, but like I think what kind of like hurt me most is that the fact that we didn't trade Kuz first. I was expecting Kuz to go, and then if they got somebody like an offer that would blew them out of the water for Danny, and I was like, okay, fine, because obviously everybody's tradable on this on a 15 winning team of last year. So, but for the fact that we traded Danny first instead of Kuz, that like I was just like, really? But I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Kuz, I respect him. Like he brought us like he's I think he's underrated as a player. I think the league underrates him, but I just gotta trust the process. I mean, I do trust Will Dawkins. I think he can draft his butt off. Um, so yeah, now I'm just like I've come to terms with the trade, and
Yeah.
you know,
I definitely think they wanted to trade Kuzma was the first priority. I know like there was that huge Kings rumor, but that just never
yeah,
happened. I think it was just the Kuzma offer is just it still just isn't what they don't like what they're seeing. So it's kind of scary, but I feel like there's a growing chance Kuzma's on the opening day roster. Like I said, I
yeah,
don't hate him either, but at this point it's just the direction the team and
There's no
Kuzma.
need for him to be on the roster. Like it's not.
yeah.
It's fine if he's on here, but there's no need for him. It's kind of just like a waste of a spot.
That and also like why does he? What is there like? Why does he love DC so much?
Oh,
Like
are you aware of his restaurant and cafe in the area?
The Chocolate
yeah, but
Cafe and
like
the Mahana
I mean,
Fresh.
he can go do fashion walks with the Heat in Miami or something like that. Like, I mean, I really like Kuz. The only thing it's just like the thing that gets me with him is just like it's nothing about him and his style of play. It's more of just like I'm trying to get Cooper Flag next year. And
Yeah,
like and also if the Wizards actually like perform a little bit above mediocre and we get out like the top 10, that doesn't that pick go to the Knicks?
Yeah, because it's still from it's like
I
the
think it's top
Westbrook
10.
wall. It's
Yeah.
it's every year the protection like goes down, I
Yeah,
believe,
yeah.
and it's like every year we're managing to avoid that protection. But yeah, it's been years since like the Wall Westbrook trade.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I guess yeah, if we do become a play-in team, we just have no pick next year, which is
Oh, we're not becoming a play-on team. I'm talking about like if like we're like not top 10, I mean like bottom 10. But like so like if we get like the number 11th pick in the draft or like number 10, I think, then the pick goes to the Knicks next
yeah.
year.
I go because if we're accidentally like a 27-win team and we accidentally
Yeah,
fall in
yeah.
that range,
Yeah.
then I go to me and it's like wow we still really suck, but we our talent accidentally pushed us to lose our first so.
Exactly, yeah. So
But I
that's why I
think
trade him.
I think Kuzma's a good tank commander in that sense. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
he had the keys this season, and this nothing good happened in terms of winning basketball. So I don't think Kuzma scares me in the terms of just winning basketball. He just the whole point is just player development, just minutes and all that. Like I said, I don't hate watching him. I find him entertaining at
Yeah,
times.
me
Like
too.
I know some people complain always a bit too much iso ball, but I think that's more like the coaching than the actual players. But
Yeah, and he's a good leader. He's a like that surprised me. Like all the players loved him. Like they look up to him. You need those in a rebuilding team.
yeah, there's like besides him and Anthony Gill, there's like no locker room leaders in the
Rashawn
for the
Holmes.
Rashawn is Rashawn
Yeah.
Holmes a locker room leader?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like when I see him play, like he has that like tenacity. He's 30. I think he's 31 years old. We just
he's
signed him
he's
to an
he,
extension.
the way I see him, he's like a 30-year-old Gafford is how the way he plays.
Yeah,
Like we just traded for an older Gafford on a bad contract. That's what and a first round pick.
true.
But I, I mean how'd you feel about us giving Rashawn a 2-year contract this year? That was also really random in terms of like the roster moves.
Well, I think it's for trade purposes to make it easier to trade him. Um, from what I heard, they just because his contract was like partially guaranteed or something like that, or I think it still is. But I think it's like a stepping stone for a future trade, and I
I
think Will
think
Dawkins is cooking up something.
I forgot the dollar value. I feel like the dollar value is still a bit. He's making more than Jonas right now, which is he's gonna be
Yeah,
the back. He's gonna be the backup to Jonas, but he's making more than Jonas, which is really weird.
yeah,
And I get the trade bait, but he's gonna have to because his last year in DC and Dallas kind of lowered his stock a lot compared. Because I remember back in Sacramento, he had like a decent role player value, but
Mm.
Now he's gonna have to get minutes this year and actually prove himself if they want to actually get anything returned in a trade. But I guess we're in a space like in the next 2 years. I don't think there's any huge free agents that we need to sign. So overall, it doesn't hurt me that much.
Yeah, it's just like a small move. I'm pretty sure they're gonna end up trading him.
Yeah. And in terms of Jonas, good up down on just once again. Obviously, he's probably trade bait in a year, but at least just for the initial, do you like him? Like a lot of people are saying he's going to play the five, Sar's going to play the four. Are you pro or against that?
I actually love that. I think SAR's trying to like follow that Jaren Jackson mold or like Evan Mobley. I don't think Evan Mobley likes playing the five either. Um, but and Jonas Valanciunas played with Jaren Jackson and back in Memphis, I believe, right?
Yeah,
So I like, and also like they gave him a very. I was surprised at the deal, like for 30 million for 3 years.
Yeah, three
Like,
year 30 mil. I'm like,
yeah, like,
what?
and I know, and a team I'm already like focusing on is the Knicks because like they lost Hartenstein. They're probably gonna sign some player that's not, some center that's not gonna be any good. So they're gonna be looking at the trade deadline. They're gonna want to make a push. They're gonna want a center. So I'm like, maybe the Knicks could trade him, but they just lost all their first round picks with the Mikal Bridges trade. But like there's gonna be some center needy teams, and if we don't end up trading him, um, just him being a really good mentor in the locker room is great. The only thing I don't want him to take minutes away from Vukovic as much. But then again, Jonas doesn't really. He's only played like 24 minutes per game throughout his entire career. He's not a big heavy minutes guy.
yeah, he's going to be a starter, but yeah, he's not going to be a 30-minute guy at all. He's going to be one of those
Yeah.
starters that plays like low 20s. But honestly, yeah, as you mentioned, 10 million a year in the modern NBA for like a starter-ish caliber player is really good.
Hmm.
And then so he's going to be easy to move. People need centers at the trade deadline. Obviously, teams wanted Gafford, so that's and yeah, overall, I'm pretty high on Jonas just for the dollar value. Yeah, I'm surprised like New York didn't give Jonas a call or any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they still have Mitchell Robinson, but he's. I know they also want to get off of him because he makes a lot of money, and also his injury like he had in the playoffs. So
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I just like the thought of having him as like a veteran center for Sar, just for him
Yeah.
to be there, sort of. I mean, Rashawn, sure, he could sort of fill that role, but just have to have Jonas Valanciunas instead of Rashawn Holmes. I mean,
Yeah.
for
and
30 mil
plus
as well.
Jonas will help because what I've noticed a lot of 7 footers are coming to the NBA now. Nobody wants to play center because nobody wants to deal with being in the paint and boxing out and dealing with Embiid and Jokic every night. So a lot of these 7 footers prefer playing the four. Like even if you remember, like even it's not even a new thing. If you remember, like this is random. Like I remember, like Anthony Davis when he was young, always insisted that he rather play the four than the five.
Yeah.
So I think just for like the physicality, a lot of players just do prefer the four. So, and at least right now, like Sar isn't weak, but definitely he's not like built in that
Hmm.
sense. So I think the four would definitely be good for him, at least to start out his career, and then ideally I would like him to be at the five at some point, but at least for now, yeah, I think starting with the four is really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree.
And
Is
speaking
there?
of like veteran presence, I mean, if we do keep Malcolm Brogdon, then he'll be there for like Bub and all of that. I just remember we have Poole on our team as well. I don't. What is Poole gonna do? Is he gonna start or like? I mean, he's probably gonna start, yeah. But
Yeah, I mean, apparently, I don't know if y'all know, but like Poole and Bilal are like BFFs.
oh, they've
They,
been
they,
hanging out, yeah.
they're
Yeah,
hanging out like France, yeah, like
yeah,
at a PSG game, yeah.
and like I mean, I think we all know like Poole's like somewhat of a gym rat. Like he's always in the gym.
Yeah.
But then again, obviously, we all know his like this buffoonery that had since like Golden State, and you know, but like I think he just turned 25 this year, or he's going to turn 25 this year. Um, I don't. I don't want to. Obviously, don't classify him as like a leader in the locker room yet. But like, I don't think he's a bad influence either. But then again, I don't know. But
We'll just have to see how Bilal turns out, I guess.
yeah,
Because of him.
Yeah. I think as a locker room guy, Pole's fine. As an on-court guy, I don't think he adds anything. Like he's not a point guard in the sense of like
Bro, he'll take a jump this season. Trust.
that's your opinion. I don't agree with you on that.
He'll
That's
take a
something we did.
jump.
That's something
on
we
Jordan
disagree on.
Poole.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's gonna take a jump, dude. I think so.
Young
Yeah,
people,
My
everyone.
God.
See, I don't
yeah,
know. every Wizards fan they only pay attention to like the last like they only remember when they go in the offseason, they only remember the last like 15 games of the season. Like yeah, pull out a good last 15, 20 games.
No,
But
but like
I
he had a whole season to figure it out, and he has a whole off season to figure it out.
I'll never forget the first 40, 50 games that he played in a Wizards uniform. It's still stuck in my mind. I don't know. That was some of the
He
moments were just a
wasn't a
bit.
point guard the first
Yeah, he
40,
was.
50 games of the season.
I like because I watched the entire season too, and like don't get me wrong, like the first 40, 50 games, like he lowered the life expectancy of some of us Wizards fans. Like it was just getting out of hand. Like I expected it because I don't know if y'all remember the preseason New York Knicks game where he dropped like
Oh, the 41
43.
I
bomb.
was
Yeah,
I was like he's the next Harden. That's what I
the next
thought after
they're
that.
calling the next Arenas actually here in the DMV. So, but like so after having that, and I think that like boosted his ego way up to like freaking But and then now like how he did, I think he needed this ego check, this reality check. I think the thing with him is just more of just like okay, like he can only improve because he had such a dog water year last year. It's just a matter of how much are you going to improve, and that's another question. Like and if he does improve, are we gonna keep him as a part of the future, or are we just gonna use him as trade bait? Which I think was the original plan when we first acquired him, so use him as trade bait.
I think he will always at this point just be traded, but it's just his contract is obscenely high to actually get anything in return that isn't just another bad contract.
Yeah,
Main thing I just want to see for him next year, I want him to succeed. I remember when he originally came in, people were like, oh, DC has no talent. He could be a 25 point per game scorer. I think that was definitely in his head too. That okay, I'm gonna
yeah,
take some shots. I want to be a 25 point per game scorer on this team. He could not do that. Honestly, next year, I don't care if he doesn't score. If he's even like only like a 16, 17 point per game score again, I'm fine with that. I just want him to be efficient. That's
yeah.
all I care about. The
Mhm.
efficiency. Like I'm fine if you're not an insane scorer. Just don't shoot like 35, 40% on most nights. Like I just
All
want to
nights. It
All
was
nights,
bad.
yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. You remember there was this one time like he was sitting on the hardwood and he was gonna take a shot. Remember that?
yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah,
was just
yeah.
he was
He's
saying
like,
he
oh,
wanted to.
And I was
yeah, I
just like,
remember
and I remember, yeah, I think that was like the time where he was just turning the leaf, and he's gonna be like, how he ended the season or whatever. But I'll never forget like this the stuff that he did throughout this entire season. Like, he could have employed like 14 employees on Shaq and a Fool. Like, it was just like it was bad. It was just like really bad.
That and the moment where he like I forgot he crossed up someone the Pistons and he just stood there and then he got blocked. I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's just all these plays that just if he can get it if he just yeah like you mentioned knowing his role I think will just do wonders just for his value as a player. Like
yeah.
when he's trying to do too much, it's just the ceiling. He's never going to be like the third Splash Brother or whatever in DC. That's just never going to happen. But at the very worst, just a serviceable starting guard, at least for this weird transition period of the rebuild. That's what we can hope for next year. But yeah, before I guess we conclude this, just talking about the state of the team. Is there any other moves you want to see this offseason?
um, Kuzma.
Yeah,
Kuzma, there's apparently rumors about Tyus Jones sign and trade. Man, we're probably just gonna get a couple
please.
second round picks for him, but second round picks is we love those here, apparently. But Kuz, there's I don't know how y'all feel about this one, but like people were saying like maybe Corey Kispert could be moved. I don't know, y'all. The only way I would move him is if we get like it probably have to be a protected first round pick for next year in the really good deep draft. That's the only way I'd move him. But I mean, I would not be surprised if he gets moved because if he's probably going to be due for like a big contract, probably like in a $70 million range, maybe even more. Because he's a sharpshooter.
yeah. I'm conf- Raj has been a huge Corey fan since like day one. So I know Raj is like really anti that. If you look in his background, there's a Kispert jersey. There's
Yeah,
there's like this Kispert basketball cards that are he has a whole like shrine in his background. For me, for the right price, definitely has to be the right price. But I'm more open to moving off of him. Like yeah, you mentioned one. I wouldn't do it for like a late first round pick. Like I would like in the Gafford trade, like getting the 26th pick. I would need more than that for Corey. Like something that's closer to the lottery is
yeah,
what I would prefer for Corey. If I get close to a lottery pick, I would do it. And then also like I like Corey a lot, and he's more than like just a sharpshooter because he has the whole like cutting game and
Yeah,
all that.
definitely. Yeah.
But at the same time, we've also just I don't know. I don't want to put him in this is probably what I'm doing mentally, but I'm mentally like putting him in the category of like all these like white shooters like overpaid, like your Davis Bertans or even other teams like your Joe Harrises
Joe
or just
Harris. Yeah.
all these players that they just got paid way too much money and then they just fell off after getting the bag because they only have so many skills and just I'm somewhat scared if we gave Corey like 70, $80 million, just we'd be disappointed what we got after paying him that. So in that sense, it's like I said once again, for the right price, at least for me, I'm willing to move off him. I mean, Rod, you could speak your mind about your Russian.
Nah, he's staying. Nah.
He's-
Or
yeah.
like Landry Shamit. Why
Oh
is
yeah,
no
yeah, of
one?
course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
yeah,
we go. Move
yeah,
Landry Shamit instead, bro. What is he doing?
yeah, yeah. No, I forgot about Landry Shaman. Yeah, he barely played with
Just
us, but
taking up another roster spot. Goodness.
yeah, I don't know. Like, I definitely agree with what you said earlier about like I would not trade him for a 26 like we did with Gafford. I would go for like 15 to like 18, like
Yeah,
those numbers. Like, but I mean that's actually gonna be even valued even more next year. Um, so that we can use that if we want to trade up to get a even like mega star player in the draft. But yeah, I don't know. I just have a bad feeling because like Deni is 23 years old and he's gonna be 24 in January. I know a lot about Deni. But Corey, I'm just like because he's 25 already. I'm trying to figure out do they like they're already trying to like are they including him in the future plans for the Wizards? Like with the young kids in the roster. And I don't know if Will Dawkins, includes him in that, circle. Even though I mean I love Kisper. I want him to stay, but I think Ted Leonsis just wants first round picks everywhere, and I would not be surprised if they trade him.
yeah. Mentioning Kisper because he spent like I think 3 4 years at Gonzaga if I'm not correct. So he definitely he was drafted. He was an older draft pick too. So he's
Yeah,
definitely aged quicker. And yeah, like in terms of like the whole timeline fitting, if he were to be a part of like if they truly want to be a true like championship level team and not just like a playoff team, but like an actual championship team, then ideally Corey is fit with the championship level teams at most like a really good sixth man. And it's
hmm
like, is he really worth just keeping around for that long just so he can be the sixth man when you're actually a contender?
yeah,
I don't know. For the right, if he's for the, if he can agree to a cheap enough extension, sure. But that's definitely
yeah,
a harder question. Yeah, once again, what we mentioned, just when you get attached to these players, it's just hard to let go, even if you know it's for the best. Like I remember like Gafford being moved. I still kind of miss Gafford because the Gafford just had Gafford like embodied the Wizards like silly spirit in a way, and I still
yeah,
kind of just miss him of like being goofy and just all that stuff. And there were obviously nights where I was like, oh my god, you're getting cooked alive by every center, Gafford. But
yeah.
you still get attached to all these players, and like every player that gets most players that get traded, it's emotional. Um, is there any players that on the current team that like they aren't necessarily a star, but you just attached to for like no good reason?
Currently, right
Yeah,
now,
I mean, it was Denny for him. I don't know
yeah,
about
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah, Denny. Um, Probably Bilal now. I mean, that's like the cop
Yeah,
out
Bilal's like the one
obvious.
thing that cannot move ever. He's
Yeah,
staying.
It's
Goodness.
an
Bilal. Yeah, because like everybody else is like, I don't want to get clingy to them because I know they're probably gonna get moved, But like Bilal, yeah, probably Bilal.
Yeah.
Bilal's. I mean, obviously he's like a key cornerstone, but yeah, definitely not a bad pick getting attached to him. And ideally, he's gonna be around for a while. I don't know.
Hmm.
For me, like I got weirdly attached to Jules Bernard of all people this season because I was just like, I saw him in the G League and I was really high when he got a 2A contract on him. He
Hmm.
didn't really end up doing that much, but it's crazy. I think just this is another thing I was mentioning to Raj. Just like the whole like Stockholm syndrome of being a Wizards fan just makes you just. I feel like Wizards fan. I think we just act a little bit more irrational than other fans just because of how much like the team is like mentally abused us. Like we're extra attached, we're also like extra just insane at the same time.
Oh, dude, we're all tormented. Like, like the older you are, I mean, like, I'm 30, right? And like all I've known since because I started following the Wizards when right after Gilbert Arenas like tore his knee. So it was like 2 years of misery. Then we got John Wall. But then after John Wall joined, it was another 2 year, 3 years of misery until our team got good. Like, and even then when we were good, it was to me it was kind of brief. And
Yeah.
then the whole purgatory thing since 2018, since we didn't want to trade Beal, it was just gonna do a whole other podcast on that. But like,
Yeah, that's like an hour-long video essay right there. And I think there has been like hour-long video essays about like just the Wizards 2000 era. And it's funny, like, yeah, we always look back at the Wall era as like this amazing glory time, but then when I think about it, we never won 50 games in that era.
yeah,
We never made it past the second round, and for most teams that's like not that successful. For us, we're like, oh my god, that was our golden age. But looking back, it's like in the grand scheme of things, even that wasn't that insane of like an era in terms of success.
yeah. I mean, yeah, we were up and down. Like, yeah, we were never like consistently like. Well, we had like a couple year stretch, but like just like consistent year in and year out. But even then, like everybody was young. Like Beal, he was like I think it was like 24, 23. Like he didn't even reach his prime until Wall got injured. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think after the last hope of this team somewhat being at least like a conference finals, like fringe young team that could sneak their way into the finals so they somehow got past like prime LeBron was it was that Wizards Celtics series into like 2016 or
mm,
17. That was the last breath we had of like any kind of like respect in the league. And I feel like after that, just everything the team did after that, no one like thought it was smart or obviously back then that was like the Ernie Grunfeld era in terms of like the GM back then,
yeah,
which there's layers of pain. Ernie Grunfeld, Tommy Shepard, but
yeah, yeah. No, definitely, I agree.
I
Ernie
think, but yeah, 2017 and now is just pure misery. There's a little bit more light now, but we respect you that you're one of us in terms of all the suffering, and that's why you earn the right to be on this prestigious podcast.
I mean, for me, I only became a fan in like 2021. Like, I
For
mean,
real?
he took me to my first basketball game ever as a Wizards game. It would also kind of explain why I'm weirdly attached to Corey Kispert. But like, I only saw like old Beal. I never saw Wall. I don't know. I was kind of like, damn. Like, I can't imagine the pain both of you have been through. Like, I've been through enough pain from 2020 like one to 2024, but like from 2016 to 2024, I can't imagine seeing
Oh,
like the ups and downs.
yeah. My dad, even my own dad, has pain. Like he was,
Oh my
he followed the
goodness.
Wizards in the '90s.
Oh no.
It's like this pain is generational. Like,
He probably got excited for Chris Webber, and that turned into
yeah, it was Chris Webber. I mean, the only thing we had going was the name, the Bullets. That
bullets.
was pretty cool. But yeah, I remember he told me then like the Jordan years, but then that's like didn't really pan out. How we got hyped up for Stackhouse. You guys know these players?
So yeah, yeah. I don't know. How did he
You
feel
should
when
have given
how
a
how, how,
chance.
how did he feel when Kwame got drafted?
With Kwame, yeah, I know. Like, yeah, my dad was there. Like, I was young. I was like, I think I was 8 years old. So I didn't go through those years, but like my dad was telling me all those stories. Like, I used to just see him watching the games and just like seeing him just like how it would ruin his day when the Wizards lost, and then how he just
Yeah,
like got transferred over to me. But yeah, I mean, but it's something about the Wizards, like with the Commanders, you just can't let them go. Like that,
it's
you gotta
the
stay
time
loyal
and
forever.
like the time investment. Yeah, it's like 'cause at this point I've been a fan. I would say I got really into the team like 2014-ish,
Okay.
2013. That's how long I've been a fan. It's like at this point I've invested like too much of my life, like
Yeah.
legitimately close to like half my life has been just dedicated to just obsessing over this weirdly bad basketball team. And it's like at this point it's like
Yeah.
I gotta reap the rewards. And now I'm scared. If it's like the year 2040 and we're actually like a title contender and like bandwagons start showing up, I'm gonna be so mad. Like you
Exactly.
did
Yeah.
Back in my
you
day,
back in my day, you don't get it, kids. You don't get it.
hmm
Yeah. Once I reach unk status, oh my god, I'm gonna be such a basketball unk. Like I'm gonna
yeah. No.
I'm gonna be all up in people's faces. But yeah, anything else you want to add on just Wizards basketball or just the DMV or
um. I have a feeling that we're just gonna make a trade real soon. Even though like free agency is like a bit slow right now, I just have a feeling we're gonna make a trade. Um, But yeah, that's all I'm doing is just refreshing my phone, Twitter, just seeing if we got a
Woj,
little bomb, little
yep.
bad.
Woj and Sham's notifications on all summer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, 100% I agree. Like, there's no way that we don't at least make one more trade. If it's not as big of a trade as we think, if at the very least, if it's even like Shamit, I think at least some kind of trade
Yeah.
is going to happen before the offseason ends. But yeah, that's our little talk on just the current state of recent Wizards history. And now your Wizards history knowledge is going to be put to the test in our little Wizards Jeopardy game that I made this morning. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's not really.
It's bullets to Wizards game time. Are you a real Wizards lover? Are you a real Wizards sicko? Are you a straight up baller?
All right, everyone. It is now time for a little Bullets to Wizards game time, a little bit of trivia, and I spent a great probably 30 minutes this morning making this little Jeopardy game for our special guest today. All right, are you all ready?
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys like watch Jeopardy or at least familiar with it?
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah,
My grandma watches Jeopardy.
that makes sense. But yeah, so for this Jeopardy game, pretty simple, just the usual. I was too lazy to even make a final Jeopardy, so it's just whoever just scores the most points from these trivia questions will be the winner. For fun, let's say the loser has to delete all their social media accounts. So this
That's crazy.
This podcast is over if you lose, Raj. It's over. All right. And I'm not going to harp on you guys to say, like, some of the proper Jeopardy format, when you answer questions like, oh, it's like, what is Idaho or whatever, but I'm not, you don't have to answer like that. Just answer it.
Okay.
Just answer it normally. And all right, you guys ready to get started?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Let's see. How do I decide who goes first? Alfonso, our guest, heads or tails?
Heads.
Damn.
How you said damn before you knew the result,
It's always heads, man. It's just how it is.
and it's heads. So, all right. So you get to go first, Alfonso. Which category would you like to select?
Let's do memes for 500, please.
All right. Which former Wizard hates ketchup on pizza?
Who knows this?
Former Wizard. Wait, is this for just for me or for me and Raj right now?
Oh, was it for both? Oh, it's just for him,
Just,
right?
just for you, yeah.
Oh, oh yeah, because I just asked for it. Which former Wizard hates ketchup on pizza? Which form? Wait, ketchup on pizza? Which former human hates ketchup on pizza? Like, who puts ketchup?
Well, I'll give you. When you say former,
yeah.
he's still alive, so he's not a former human. He's just
Yeah,
a former
that's true.
wizard.
Yeah. I'm just gonna guess. Just gonna look at somebody to see who just hates ketchup in general. Maybe for Deni.
Not a terrible guess. Is that your final answer?
Well, based on your response,
I probably should have been so.
Says-
I should have been so expressive with the way I responded.
Rui, let's lock it in.
He is locking in Rui. The answer is.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, the Italian. The Italian hates. He's like, I remember him like mentioning in a video once, like it's like a blasphemy to Italian pizza putting ketchup on it. So that's a 500-point question.
Should have been 5,000 for it. You play like 30 games with.
You gotta be a true sicko to know that. Oh man.
I'm not gonna. That's the first question I put on this trivia. All right, Raj, what would you like to select?
Well, let me get Stadium 200. What do I know about Capital One?
Oh. Capital One Arena's original name.
I know this.
Back in the phone booth days.
I remember I was talking to my dad about this like last week.
You also have to like know your history about like cell phone company mergers to get this one right.
Wasn't it like Verizon Center or something? Was it Verizon?
Is that your
Was it not Verizon? Oh yeah, I'm gonna just say Verizon.
I'm sorry. It was the MCI Center.
Bro, what?
It was a brief. I think I don't know. I forgot how long it was, but yeah,
I
before
swear I remember. Okay,
I think Verizon bought out MCI or something, and then it became Verizon after that. But originally, when it was built, it was the MCI Center.
original name. Okay, I wouldn't have known that.
All right, you both are.
I was thinking most recent.
All right, you both still are at 0. This is great. All right,
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'm gonna look like a bad host if I like make questions that nobody gets right. So y'all better start answering right soon. All right. What's next?
I'll take memes for 400, please.
He's sticking to memes. This former Wizard got caught cheating on Iggy Azalea.
Oh, Nick Young.
There you go. Ding ding.
See, I don't even know who Iggy Azalea is.
How do you not know Iggy Azalea?
Cause
God.
let me get.
That's how Gen Z you are. You don't even know. Like, is Iggy Azalea too millennial for you? Or?
Who is that?
She was big in like what 2017, 18, something like that.
For what? Like, what does she do?
She had like one of those like she had a viral song. She's like one of those like she raps.
She's like Aussie female rapper too. It's like that's the whole appeal. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did she get famous off of?
What's her most popular song?
I don't know, but I know she got a lot of flack.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you know Black Widow, Work, Problem? Okay, I think these are songs, I don't know the names, but if I heard them, I think I would recognize them. I think you would.
Yeah, if I have to hear it, then probably.
Alright. That's not proper Jeopardy format, but Raj, you pick now. We're just going in like snake order. So Raj, what's your next one?
I'm not touching coaches. I don't know my coaches. Let me just a little safe. Stat leaders 100.
All right, he's going really safe. The Wizards' point per game leader in 2020.
Kuzma.
That's why it's 100. Ding ding.
Thank God, bro. You took a little pause. I'm like, whoa. I thought you were gonna say pool or something. I got scared.
That was definitely not pool. All right, yeah. Alfonso, what's next?
Memes for 300, please.
Which former Wizard gets frequently trolled on Twitter because of his cryptocurrency tweets?
Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, that's a good one. Ding ding.
Was this recent? Do I not know about this?
It's been like an ongoing thing of Dinwiddie, and that's why we got traded to Dallas. Like, oh, he's gonna talk crypto with Mark Cuban. And if you follow him on Twitter, like, once like a month he does tweet something random about crypto. I'm like, I should unfollow Spencer Dinwiddie at this point. I do hate the guy, but I still follow him for some reason. All right, Raj, what's next?
I gotta come back here a little bit. Maybe I do know I don't know my coaches at all. Stat leaders 200 gradually come up, hopefully.
The Wizards' all-time scoring leader. Come on, man. I will say it's not a guy that they never really talk about him as much as they should, but.
So I was gonna say like John Wall, but that makes no sense.
Okay. No, it's gonna be him. The hint would be too obvious. I'm not gonna say it.
Wizards. I don't think Gilbert can score, but like he didn't play long enough. I swear, if this is like Wes Unseld or something, I don't know anybody else back then. Do I just go for Gilbert just because I don't?
Just say Corey Kispert.
Lock in an answer. Think of like all the monumental broadcasts you've seen, and like occasionally, like sometimes there was. I'm not gonna say why there was a graphic, but sometimes there was graphics about the Wizards.
Jason Smith.
Jason Smith. We saw him at the draft party. That's the.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
But.
You should give me a little hint. Is he like? He could be Wes. I know like two Wes Unseld era players. It's him and that Hayes guy.
So what's your answer?
Wes was. He was the youngest MVP, but I don't. But Alvin Hayes.
Wow. I actually thought you were lost the whole time.
Give me that. Give me that. Because I was thinking of like just who played with Wes Unseld. I'm like, oh, there's that Hayes guy. I heard he was like pretty good. So I'm like, why not take the shot at him? Oh my
I
gosh,
gave
my
you
heart,
a hell of a lot of time for that question, so
my heart.
be thankful. I gave you like, if this is like a timed essay, 1 minute per question. I mean, timed like multiple
Oh,
choice.
I would have said John Wall.
If this is the SAT, if this is the SAT, you would have not gotten that right.
Goodness. Yeah.
All right, Alfonso, what's your next choice?
Uh, memes for 200, please.
All right. Which former Wizard became infamous on Shacked a Fool, earning the nickname Tragic Bronson?
JaVale McGee, right?
Yeah.
That has to be JaVale McGee.
Dun-dun.
Yeah.
Oh man, I started to feel confident, but
All right,
all right. Let me just steal the 100 meme
100 meme.
so he doesn't take it. Yeah,
Which former Wizard went viral doing the Dougie dance move during the starting
John
lineup?
Wall.
Yeah.
That's yes.
All right. Yeah, it was interesting how that became like a whole TikTok thing, though. Like just clips of John Wall doing the Dougie, but I don't know, TikTok's weird. All right, what's your next one, Alfonso?
I'm a stats guy. Let's do stats for 500, please.
I respect you for the 500s. All right. Capital City Go-Go leader in points per game.
I follow the Wizards, not the GOAT. Go. I mean, maybe the Wizards sent down a player. No, because he would have to play the entire season. I don't know. I have to say a name, so probably Johnny Davis.
It actually could be.
No, it's not Johnny. I know it's not Johnny Davis.
Unfortunately, it was Hamidou Diallo.
Oh,
But Johnny was a solid guess, but I feel like they kept him around the main roster for most of the year this year. For some reason, he just
Probably leads them in turnovers.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Raj, what's your next one?
okay. Hopefully, I can get a free point with the 100 coaches. Please. Please.
Which former Wizard coach has his jersey retired from his playing days?
Bro, what?
There's not that many jerseys. There's not many jerseys.
I don't know who's in the rafters.
So this guy, his jersey was retired, but he also was a coach at some point for the Wizards as well. It's
Didn't Wes Unseld coach for a while?
did he?
No, I don't. Did he? I know his son did. Did Wes Unseld actually coach for a while? I feel like I've heard that somewhere. And he would definitely have his jersey in the Wes Unseld.
You got it. What's on
Oh my god!
Maybe I should.
I'm just getting lucky, man.
Maybe I won't give it to you. You didn't say senior. Maybe you meant junior. I don't know what you meant.
No, I said maybe his son did coach, but what about his dad? Implicating.
All right. I'll give you the 100. I'll give you the 100. All right, Alfonso, what's next?
Let's do stats for 400, please.
The leader in 3-point percentage for the Wizards in 2024.
Oh, I know this. No, I should.
I mean, my heart is saying Kispert, but I know he had a bit of a down year related to him. I think he had 38%. Why do I feel like this is like a super easy question? I'm just like blacking out. Who else? Like Poole, Blow, Kuzma.
Do I know? I'm like, oh.
Oh, Tyus Jones.
Yeah, there you go.
No.
It was
Yeah. I'm about to say, yeah.
It was a 400 because you wouldn't really think of Tyus as the first guy you think of for like.
Yeah.
But yeah, he shot 41.4%.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, Alfonso's kind of stretching the lead out on you, Raj.
Oh yeah, no, that's it now.
You gotta
All right.
You gotta start answering some of the bigger ones if you want to make a comeback and save the podcast from being deleted.
Tyler Coacher Stadium. Give me Coach. That's definitely a bad decision.
This former Wizards coach is the father of the Pistons' new head coach.
They have a new head coach.
Pistons hired someone relatively recently. Yes, after firing Monty Williams, they have a new coach, and his dad is a coached the Wizards at some point in Wizards history. And so who is the new Pistons coach's dad?
I know the new Pistons coach is like that. What? Birkenstock? What's his name? Bickerstaff? Yeah, Bickerstaff.
Why are you thinking about the sandals, man? The Birkenstocks. Bro wants to go to the beach or something.
Bro, who's his dad? I don't know his dad. Bro. Who is JB Bickerstaff's dad? I just gotta come up with some. I have to get his first name.
Yeah,
bro. Bickerstaff. Come on, think Wizards history. Bickerstaff.
I'm gonna be honest. This guy didn't really do anything that notable as a Wizards coach, but that's why it's a 500.
I'm gonna just say like the most random name, Daniel. What do you want me to say, man?
What did you just say, Bernie? Bickerstaff?
Bernie. Oh man, that's gonna be my second guess.
Yes.
Birkenstock. Damn.
I don't know. To make it interesting, I can give you half. Wow, you're still really losing, but
honestly, no, I'll take 750. I'll take 750.
You're just trying to save your podcast. Can I get 500 for stadium, please?
All right. Where did the Wizards/Bullets play from 1974 to 1997? So I'm looking for a location.
Like city?
City? Actually, no. I'll accept city or the name of the stadium. But yeah, where did they play from? Basically, before the current Capital One Arena, before MCI Center, where did they play?
They weren't always in Washington. I didn't even know that.
Was they in Baltimore? No, right? Were they in Baltimore?
Well, this is 74 to 97. So I'll tell you what. When I looked this up, I was like, I kind of forgot this was a part of Wizards history too.
Where did they play? RFK? No. That's outdoor stadium. Damn, you're not giving me any hints either with your face.
I finally activated my poker face.
Where did the Wizards play? Damn. I didn't go to the game till like
I'll tell you what.
2010.
This isn't a good hint, but thinking RFK puts you on a track that brings you closer than you think, and you'll see what I mean once the answer is revealed. But RFK's not a bad starting point for your train of thought. That's what I'll say.
Where did the Wizards play? Like I'm just trying to think like the stadiums in DC.
I don't. Trying to think if I should give this hint or not.
Were they in Baltimore?
They were in Baltimore, but is this? I'm not going to say if this is or isn't the Baltimore era.
I think it was in the Baltimore era, but I don't know any. I don't know.
Fine, I'll give you a hint to be nice. I'm 99% sure this stadium does not exist anymore. I'm pretty sure it was blown up at some point.
This is the Baltimore Bridge or something.
They're not playing the Baltimore Bridge.
Damn, dude. I'm just gonna have to say Daniel too.
Daniel
I don't know. Just put Daniel up there. I'll take the L.
All right, is the answer the Daniel Arena? The answer is the U.S. Airways Arena in Landover.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying, like RFK, like FedEx, Landover. That was like, but yeah, I honestly didn't know that until this morning either. So I was looking up stadium history. So that definitely was a hard 500 question. All right, Raj, what's your next one?
Okay, stadium stuff sucks. So I'm gonna do Coach 300.
Which coach did the Wizards hire in 2016 in hopes of attracting Kevin Durant?
I don't know.
The one hint
I don't know.
The one tiny hint I'll give is that I think he's an assistant somewhere. I forgot where, but I'm pretty sure he's still an assistant in the league somewhere. That's all I'll say.
Which coach did the Wizards hire in 2016? Hopes of attracting KT. Oh, why did I do coaches? I screwed myself. I don't know anyone except Brian Keefe, Scott Brooks, and Wes Unseld Jr. Oh, and he's an assistant coach somewhere. How long? Can I ask you how long this coach was here for? I don't. It won't help me. I'm just curious.
Trying to think if I should give. I'm trying to think if I should give you this. I already gave you a hint. I'm trying to think if I should give you another hint.
Oh, you think I know who this is?
I think the hint would help you. I think the hint would
Yeah,
help.
I think
any
you know who it
any
is.
other active coach in the league? I mean, assistant coach at least. The relevant ones.
Save the podcast.
Can I play that Jeopardy music, or will we get copyrighted for that?
In post, I'll think about it. In post edit, I'll put something. There's gonna be background music when I put in post edit, but probably not Jeopardy music. Probably some kind of elevator music. Especially how long Raj takes with his questions.
I would just say the oldest coach I know is Scott Brooks.
I feel like the assistant hint was a bit too good because
No, I literally did not know he was still in the league. I just said the oldest one I know. I'm just getting lucky with these.
you don't even know like Randy Whitman or like.
Nope. I know Brian Keefe, but not Randy Whitman, and that says a lot.
There was like a random night a month ago where we had drinks and I was randomly like saying I miss Randy Whitman. All right, but yeah, all right, you're making it. Actually, that one makes it a little bit more of a game, but Alfonso can still stretch it out with the next one.
Don't take it. Don't take it.
I'll take stats for 300, please.
Oh, he took it.
The all-time leader in triple doubles for the Wizards.
Well, actually, I don't know.
All-time leader in triple doubles. Let's see. Damn.
I think. Well, I can't talk now.
Russell Westbrook?
It is, isn't it?
Yep.
Is it? Oh,
Even after
that's
one-
pretty sad. That's
one-
pretty sad.
one
He only played
season.
1 year season. Yeah.
One season, he was our leader. He had like 38, I believe. So that was enough to be our triple double leader.
Yeah.
The year of Westbrook was an interesting one. All right, Raj, what's your next one?
Yeah, how do I get back? I could. No, I'm not touching coach. But stadium. Oh my god. Give me 200 coach.
Which coach has the most regular season wins in Wizards history? I'm sure this is an obvious one, but just think old.
Scott Brooks. That's all. That's the oldest one I know.
Is that your answer? Or is your answer
Is it?
Or is your answer Daniel?
I'm gonna say Scott Brooks. I don't know anyone older than him.
Gene Shu, which okay, I'm gonna admit this is probably kind of hard for a 200 question, but
Why?
blame my
Who is Gene Shu?
okay, maybe blame my brain at 8 a.m. for thinking that it was easy, but Gene Shu is has the most regular season wins in our history, apparently.
The only way I could some way come back is if he get. Wait, can I? If he goes for 400.
If he gets wrong, and then you get 2, like yeah. Or well, actually, wait.
It'll be close. And it's whatever.
It depends what
I
depends what he selects. All right, well,
Yeah.
What he select?
Oh, coaches 400, please.
When Wes Unseld Jr. went into COVID protocols in 2022, this assistant coach stepped in and won a game against the 76ers.
I feel like I know this too. It was
If this is who I'm thinking of, I'll be really upset.
Is it Brian Keefe?
Is that your final answer?
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Brian Keefe.
The answer is Joseph Gobert,
Oh.
who I remember watching that game and I was like, wow, this guy looks exactly like Wes. It's just his beard is like 2 inches longer, but they have like the exact same face. But yeah, 400 right there. All right, so the game is still.
I gotta go big and
Well, actually, it's only alive if he is nice to you and selects 100. So we'll see if he has mercy on you. But what do you select, Raj?
give me Stadium 300.
What city did the Wizards begin playing in as the Packers?
They were called the Packers?
It was only for like 2 or 3 years when they were first created, and they dipped from Chicago. Oh. I didn't mean to say it.
Man. I was gonna say Baltimore, but
Let's just say
Chicago.
Let's just say you were not gonna get that one right.
Oh,
You
you
were-
threw. You want this to be deleted, huh? Now I literally can't come back. Yeah.
Dang it! I spent too. But no, 'cause I thought you would know this because we've like we stare sometimes like the random like things in like the concourse at the stadium. There's like that little like I don't know what to call it. Like on the wall, there's like a jersey history thing, and like at the very end, there's like a little like Chicago Packers jersey next to like the.
I don't ever look at it. I just walk past it.
It's like next to the Zephyrs jersey, and then the Bullets.
I know what you're talking about. It's like that wall with all the jerseys, but I never actually like looked into it. But Chicago.
Once upon a time, they started as the Chicago Packers. You did.
All right.
All right. What do you select next?
I'll do 400, please.
Which famous DC sauce was made available at Capital One Arena recently?
Mambo sauce.
Yeah, Mambo sauce. Game over.
No way this is 400. No way that's 400. I would have got that. I would have got that.
I don't know what your culinary knowledge is.
I'm so unlucky. I'm actually unlucky with these questions.
You didn't know what Ben's Chili Bowl was until I told you like a few months ago.
I can't eat chili. That's not surprising.
It's like-
Okay, Stadium 100.
All right.
Or
Well, that's what I did. Let me. Yeah. Okay. Stadium 100. The DC neighborhood the Capital One Arena is located in. You already lost, man.
Yeah, it's whatever.
You can still say it and get 100 points.
It's okay.
Just say it.
No.
Say it. I would actually accept 2 answers for this based on like geography, but
Chinatown.
yes.
The other one's Gallery Place.
Or,
Well-
I just went off Wikipedia, which said the Chinatown section of Penn Quarter.
Oh.
So I guess apparently Penn Quarter kind of oozes into China, I guess. But all right, well, it was close a few minutes ago, but at the end, Alfonso almost doubled Raj's score, and he is our grand winner. Celebration sounds, but yes, your trophy is.
Your
Here,
podcast.
Here, take
You
Beal.
get Bradley Beal Funko Pop and our whole you're now the host of Bullets to Wizards. So everyone say hello to Alfonso, your new host. But yeah, that was super fun to do, and I hope you had fun coming on our show today and all that.
No, I did, man. Thank you, man. I really like chopping it up with Wizards fans. You know, we're a small community, but we're a loyal community.
Exactly, loyalty, as we said. The guy has a Wizards jersey on his Tinder profile. Swipe right on that guy, like he's the one.
Oh yeah, no DMV boy has ever cheated on their girl.
Yeah. Maybe from personal experience, personal experience that some DMV girls might be, but we're not going down that road.
That's because they follow the Mystics. They don't follow the Wizards.
Real.
I guess Mystics players aren't loyal, but all right. But yeah, once again, thank you so much, Alfonso, for coming on our podcast.
Yep,
and then,
thank you.
Yeah, and where our listeners, where can they find you if they want to follow more of your content?
I just the Dirty Bucket on YouTube. I don't have any other social media. I live under a rock. But yeah, just the Dirty Bucket. Do NBA content, but try to pump out at least one video a week on the Wizards. Yeah, just a dirty bucket. Really appreciate you guys having me on.
No,
Like chopping it up with us.
this was so much fun. Yeah, thank you for coming on. And if for any of the people listening on the Spotify feed, the trivia game I think is worth checking out the YouTube feed for. But yeah, as always, you can find me on Twitter at Dake Mac and Cheese. Raj, you can plug your Twitter.
Just my first name, period, last name.
Very simple. And then yeah, just follow us on all the socials. I mean, find us Bullets to Wizards. We're on Instagram, TikTok. You can find clips and random stuff for the show on there. All of our stuff will be in the description. We'll put Alfonso's channel link in the description so you can check him out. And yeah, one final question before we end this episode. What are you doing for 4th of July?
I'm gonna walk my dog. Probably walk him again after that.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
I can't argue with that.
Like I told you, I live under a rock. But I'm probably just gonna, I don't know, just do a video, walk my dog, and think of possible Kuzma trades while walking my dog.
That's nice. You'll hear the neighbors throwing fireworks, and you'll have the little NBA trade machine opened up. So
Yeah.
I respect that. For me tomorrow, I kind of want to go to the National Mall, but also I know there's like a chance of rain tomorrow. So I'll see what my mood is when I wake up tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna walk my dog.
I hear fireworks outside on my street right now. Goodness, a little bit early.
Are you doing anything? Are you doing anything, Raj?
No. No, like I was thinking of going to the National Mall as well, but like I looked at the forecast. I'm like,
A little bit of rain never hurt anyone. Thunder.
because I know my neighborhood does like a little show, but
Yeah,
DC would always be fun. We'll see.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, thank you guys again for listening. And well, I'm probably lazy, so this episode's probably gonna come out like after the 4th of July. But I hope everybody had a good 4th of July. And yeah, before we end off, let's get into form.
Yeah.
All right. All right, everybody, keep on shooting those DC
DC threes.